Fireworks, friends, food. The 4th of July is supposed to be a celebration, but for some people it becomes something else entirely. These are two real stories that took place during America's birthday, and they'll make you think twice before stepping out into the night. This happened in 2019 at Camp Huron, a small private lakefront campsite in Michigan. My friend Jeremy's family rented it every 4th of July weekend, and that year was no different. There were 10 of us in total, a mix of friends and cousins. We arrived Saturday morning, pitched tents, and started the usual festivities: burgers, beers, swimming, and blasting music. It was just perfect. But that night, that was the last time I saw my friend Matt. It was around midnight. Most of the group had passed out by the fire pit, still wrapped in blankets. Matt and I were the only two still awake. He asked if I wanted to go down to the dock and see the stars. I declined, already half asleep, so he went alone. I remember watching him walk toward the shoreline with a flashlight, the small beam bobbing as he moved further away. He waved one last time before disappearing past the trees. That was it. I woke up around 3 a.m. to the sound of dogs barking in the distance. The fire was out. Everyone else was asleep. I checked Matt's tent. He wasn't there. I figured he'd passed out somewhere else, maybe by the water, but when we all woke up around 8, he still hadn't returned. By 10 a.m., we were worried. We searched the whole campsite, then the trails around the lake, calling his name until our voices were hoarse. There was no sign of him, not even a footprint on the dock. We finally called the police around noon. Drones were brought in. Divers came out. Bloodhounds too. Nothing. His flashlight was found later that day about 15 feet into the woods, not near the dock, just sitting there, battery dead. The weird part? It was still upright, like someone had gently placed it on the ground. The search went on for a week. No one ever saw Matt again. No remains, no clothing, not even a shoe. His phone was never turned on. His wallet was still in his tent. His car keys were untouched. Now here's the thing, and I didn't mention this to the police because I didn't even remember it until a few weeks later. When I looked toward the trees that night, right before Matt waved, I thought I saw something standing behind him, just outside the beam of his flashlight. A tall, pale shape. I blinked and it was gone. I brushed it off as smoke or a trick of the light. But now, I don't know what I saw, and I don't think I want to. Matt's case is still open. They ruled it missing with suspicious circumstances. I don't go back to Camp Huron anymore. No one in our group does. The fireworks man. This took place in rural Arkansas just last year on the 4th of July. My girlfriend and I had rented a small Airbnb cabin in the woods. It was supposed to be romantic. No cell service, no internet, just us, nature, and a cooler full of food. We planned to light some small fireworks that night in the clearing behind the cabin. The day went fine. We grilled, hiked, and even took a nap on the porch hammock. By the time it got dark, we lit a few sparklers and 1 or 2 small fountains. Nothing big, just enough to enjoy the holiday. It was close to 10:30 p.m. when we heard the first one, a loud, thunderous bang. We thought it was someone else in the area setting off real fireworks, the illegal kind. It was strange though. We were in the middle of nowhere. A second explosion followed, then a third, closer. My girlfriend turned to me and said, "Do you smell that?" I did. Gunpowder, but not from our tiny fireworks. These were the big ones, one the kind you see at professional shows. We looked through the trees and saw flashes of light, red, green, purple, atre in the distance. Someone was definitely lighting a serious amount of fireworks nearby. "Wanna go see?" I asked. She shook her head. "No way, this doesn't feel right." I agreed, honestly. The sounds were strange, too fast, too rhythmic, almost like signals. That's when we saw him. A figure standing at the tree line, silhouetted by the bursts of color, just standing there. I called out, thinking maybe it was a neighbor or another camper. He didn't move. I called again. Nothing. Then I saw the thing in his hand. It looked like a long pole, maybe a launcher or a pipe, but when the next firework exploded behind him, I saw his face, or rather I didn't. He was wearing a mask, white, featureless like a mannequin's face, and he was holding a torch. The next firework didn't shoot into the sky. It shot toward us. It exploded just above the treetops, raining sparks down over the cabin. My girlfriend screamed and ran inside. I grabbed the fire extinguisher and followed. We slammed the door, turned off every light, and huddled in the back corner of the room. Another bang, even closer now. The front window lit up bright red for half a second. I called 911 even though we had no service. It didn't go through. I tried again and again, nothing. We didn't leave that room until sunrise, and when we did, he was gone. No sign of the man, no footprints, no remnants of fireworks. But about 50 feet from our cabin, nailed to a tree, was a mask, the same white one he had been wearing. Someone had left it there, deliberately. We packed up and left immediately. The owner of the Airbnb never responded to our message. The listing was gone by the time we checked again. To this day, I don't know if it was a deranged local, some psycho with a flair for theatrics, or something else entirely. But if you ask me what I think, that man wasn't celebrating the 4th of July, he was hunting. Sometimes the scariest stories aren't the ones with ghosts or monsters. They're the ones that really happened. If you've got a chilling 4th of July story of your own, drop it in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you can still sleep tonight.